Hi, welcome to Math 2510 for Fall 2014. My name's Carol DeFries, and I'm going to be your instructor for the next 16 weeks. I want to spend just a few minutes talking to you about what's going to happen in this class and how you'll be able to prepare for every single class period that we have. So as we get ready to travel down this mathematical road together, I wanted to help you understand who this person is that's going to be trying to teach you math for the next 16 weeks. So I want to tell you just a little bit about my story. I started out as a student just like you on campus trying to earn certification to teach math. I was a master's student at the time, and at the same point where I got my certification, I was offered a job teaching math on campus. And that sounded like a pretty good deal. So I decided that I would do it, but maybe for a year. 15 years later, it occurred to me that maybe I needed to go out in the public schools and teach the math that I had intended on teaching 15 years before when I got my certification. So I went to the Fort Zumwalt School District, where I taught 6 years of 7th grade math, and for 6 years I taught high school math and computer programming. It really opened up a lot of opportunities for me. I was able to speak at state and national conferences. I was able to win the Presidential Award for Excellence in Math Teaching, which gave me the opportunity to get to know a group of really dedicated teachers who give their whole existence to teaching and learning of math. I was able to work with another group of dedicated teachers as part of LearnZillion's Dream Team with 200 teachers who are writing Common Core materials that are for teachers to use in their classroom. And for 4 years I've been working with the National Center for Teacher Effectiveness, trying to identify ways that good, effective teaching can be seen in the classroom, and trying to find ways to make teachers better teachers of math. So with all of that, you might be thinking, why is she telling me this? I thought she was just going to be my teacher. And really, that's why I'm telling you this. It's not just that I'm your teacher. You're going to be a teacher too. This class is designed for people who are going to be teachers. Now, you maybe aren't going to be strictly a math teacher. Maybe you're thinking, well, I'm going to be a kindergarten teacher, or I'm going to be a 3rd grade teacher. But there's a pretty good chance that you're going to have to teach math. So with that in mind, I'm going to be trying to make you the very best math teacher I can, which means I don't just want you to be able to do the math. I want you to be able to understand the math, and I want you to be able to explain the math to others. So with that in mind, let's get back to what's going to happen in this course. Hopefully you've already looked at the syllabus. I'm just going to go over some of the highlights of the syllabus with you. You can read the rest of it very carefully in your own time. You've noticed that there is a textbook. It's the 10th edition of this author's textbook. You might have also noticed that calculators are mentioned in the syllabus. You are not allowed to use a calculator on tests in this class. That is a departmental policy. So if you're used to using that calculator for every mathematical calculation, you might want to wean yourself of that for the semester. There'll be quizzes and labs during the class periods. We'll get back to that in just a second. And you're going to have to prepare for every class before that class happens. We'll get back to that in just a second as well. The second page of the syllabus talks about how you'll be graded, where you can get tutoring, the academic dishonesty policy, and what's going to happen if class is canceled. And the third page has our schedule, so you'll know exactly when we're covering every section and exactly when all the tests are. You'll also notice there are some important dates, including the date of the final, which is on Wednesday, December 17th. The very first class period, we are going to be looking at section 9.1 in your book. So you're going to want to do some preparation for that section. Now, in order to prepare, you're going to have either a computer or a tablet or a phone with internet capability. If you don't have that, you can use your book to prepare, but you will probably prefer to use one of these electronic devices to prepare. So let's talk a little bit about this preparation and why you're doing it. This class is taught as a flipped classroom. Now, you may not be familiar with what that means, so let's compare a traditional classroom to a flipped classroom. In a traditional classroom, you go to class and the teacher instructs. So in our case, if we had a traditional classroom, you would come to class and listen to me talk for an hour and 15 minutes. You would take some notes during class, probably take notes for the whole time. You would probably follow a little bit of instruction that I give you during class. I would give you some sort of assessment, maybe give you homework to do, no doubt give you homework to do, which you would then do at home. Or you do in the library, or you would do somewhere in isolation, which can be the really frustrating part to math, because sometimes when you leave that classroom, you're just not quite sure that you're doing the math right. You need a little better support. So if this is what you thought this class was going to be like, that you would be sitting in seats and watching me write all kinds of stuff on the board, that's not the way this class is going to be run. Because in a flipped classroom, you get the instruction at home or somewhere outside of the classroom, because you're going to be looking at videos, or maybe if you can't look at a video, you'll be reading the book, or you might be going to a website. The reason for that is that you get the learning outside of class, which then you apply in the classroom. So when you come to class, you will be checking to see if you do understand what you were supposed to learn. You'll have a chance to clarify anything that was confusing. You'll be able to practice some concepts and get a deeper understanding of them, and then you'll have quizzes in class to see if you really did learn what you were supposed to learn. So that means you're expected to do some pre-class preparation, and that includes preparing for our very first class period. So you'll need one of these electronic devices to do that, to watch a video to prepare yourself for the first class. If you don't have the video, you'll have to read the section in the book. Now, there is a downfall to either traditional or flipped learning. And it actually is exactly the same downfall. In traditional learning, you go to class, you listen to a lecture, and then you go home and you do homework. If you don't do the homework, you don't have success in the classroom. In flipped learning, you have to learn the material at home. The lecture happens at home, and then you come to class and you practice what you've learned. If you don't do your part at home, and you simply come to class, you will have a poor result. So in either case, the most important thing is you have to do the work outside of the classroom in order to be successful in the classroom. So it's going to be really, really important that you prepare for every class. Now, even with that, even with flipped learning, which tends to be a lot more successful, you may feel frustrated. Please be aware that you can get tutoring on campus for free at the Math Academic Center, the Math Lab, in room 222 SSB. Please don't forget about that resource. It's free and it's available to you. And if you have any doubts about what's going on, please ask. I will point you in the right direction to get you back on track. So how do you get on track for the very first class period? Well, you have to log into My Gateway and follow the directions that you'll see when you get there, which means you're going to have to watch a video. about our very first section, how probabilities are determined. And you're going to have some problems that you will have to print out and complete before you come to class. And then when you come to class, we'll find out how much you really did learn. So I'm looking forward to our semester together, and I hope you're looking forward to it too. It's going to be a great 16 weeks.